What up, basketball fans? I'm Stevie Coles again. Welcome back to another episode of the Grind Never Stops podcast. How's everyone doing today? In today's episode, I'm going to preview you the NBA divisional preview for the Southeast. The first thing we'll talk about is the Atlanta Hawks. They are 41-31 last season, but lost to the Bucks in the conference finals, which the Bucks won the NBA title against the Phoenix Suns. The Hawks are just basically made to shoot threes, play defense, and run all across the floor everywhere with lots of speed. Especially Trae Young, a Stephen Curry clone. Oh boy. Stephen Curry is just made to shoot threes, make threes everywhere, even half court, maybe even full court. He's basically a liability on defense, both Trae Young and Stephen Curry. Never leave Trae Young and Stephen Curry wide open in the clutch because when he talks, cha-ching. The problem with the Hawks is that they don't have a post presence, meaning a post presence guy is made to go to the back of the basket and use your strength to go inside for 2 points. Then you have Clint Capela, who's basically a 6'10" guy that could rebound and shot block. And yes, he could run too. But his problem is he's bad at the free throw line. He used to have a good season with the Rockets one time, like around 70% of free throw line back when he's a Rocket one day. But the point about this is it didn't take long because most of his career he's bad at the free throw line. The high pick and roll with Clint Capela and Trae Young. The Hawks run a ton. If you don't know what the high pick and roll means, that means you set a screen and then Clint Capela's going to get to the basket and go inside for two. That's the high pick and roll. Because the Hawks are going to run a ton with Trae Young and Clint Capela. It starts with the high pick and roll. It's either shoot the from the high pick and roll, shoot a three off screen, or just lob it up to Clint Capela. You know, I seen a Reddit page from game one between the Hawks versus the Knicks, but if the opposing team sees that Reddit page, that's where I got it from. Never give it to the other team online because, because I know what's coming, buddy. Simple, right? So, what I noticed from the Reddit page is that if you're a horrible shooter, they're going to put down pistol. That means you have a three-man game on the pick and roll. Because Alfred Payton is a horrible shooter. They're going to put down pistol. Just an idea. If you shoot threes and play defense, they're going to put down one offline, meaning closeout shooters. In other words, they're going to make you drive to the cup. Can't ball handle? They're going to cut down your angles. If you're a go-to guy, they're going to tire you out. In other words, they will attack your weaknesses. You have to turn it into a strength. They do that for the first four players to watch. The next thing we'll talk about is the Miami Heat. So they lost to the Bucks in the first round, and they are 40-32. This team is outstanding on defense. They like to switch it a ton. And yes, they love to get after the passing lanes, which is called high pressure defense. And yes, the Heat can get out and run too. There's one guy you should watch. His name is Dwayne Detman. He's basically 7 foot tall. He has to play a role off the bench because without him, they're undersized. What you gotta do about this is you have to box out, go tall, crash the boards, meaning get after the ball after a missed shot. Subtract Dwayne Detman, the Heat going to be undersized. So the Heat during the offseason, they got point guard from Villanova, Kyle Lowry. He's just made to improve 3-point shooting. And yes, of course, he's an irritant great defender for a 6 footer. Then you have guard Victor Oladipo. He has injury issues. He has to stay healthy. If he can stay healthy, he can help out point guard Kyle Lowry to jump start his offense. The next team I'm going to talk about is the Washington Wizards. So they lost to the 76ers in the first round, and they are 34-38. Last season, you have point guard Russell Westbrook. He's tired of losing. Same old player. Like, he can shoot threes, but he can't. And yes, he turns the ball over way so many times. Yes, way so many times. Every time Russell Westbrook is on the floor, he gets you triple doubles, meaning if you post up double digit numbers in any category, that's what a triple double is. Russell Westbrook, he's now with the Los Angeles Lakers. Of course, the Wizards are all offense, all time. They especially ball on 3-point shooting, especially Bradley Beal, a shooting guard that's really annoying. He can go off ball. He can put the ball on the floor. He's everywhere. He basically just checks all the boxes for a guard. Their defense is really poo and non-existent, especially the 3-point line. It's really horrible. Meaning their defense, especially from the 3-point line, is really bad. To improve on defense, you should watch KCP, Caldwell Pope, because he's basically a perimeter defender. He's basically like a 3-and-D type of guy, but he's just made to improve this horrific defense. He's actually a great the perimeter defender. This should solve some problems with their 3-point line with their defense. And then you have the undersized big Montrezl Harrell. And yes, he's a great defender. Yes, you can put him in switch situations. And he's a great rebounder. This is very simple if you're a Wizards fan. Play some defense. Play some D. The next thing we'll talk about is the Hornets. They are 33 and 39 last season. A team that has offense everywhere last season, but their defense awareness is horrible, especially protecting the 3-point line. It's non existent. Just run any trick. They'll be bad anyway. They'll go like 110 points a game in terms of last season. It's horrible. So the Hornets tried to upgrade defense in the offseason by adding the Texas Longhorns product Kai Jones, who upgrades very important for Hornets fans, shot blocking and rebounding. And yes, he can get out and run for a big man. You should watch the UConn product, James Bouknight. He's underrated on both ends, but most importantly, he can score. For a guard. Then you have the big man Mason Plumlee, who can grab boards and is a great post defender. Then you have Lamellar Ball. He reminds you of Jason Kidd. He's 6'7". Yeah, size. Check that. He can also shoot threes, but he shoots 35% from three last year. That's actually not bad. And a decent free throw shoot at 75%. Not too shabby. But very simple for Hornets fans. The defense has to do a lot better this year because it's horrible last year. Very simple, Hornets fans. Do better on defense. It's horrible. The next thing we'll talk about is the Orlando Magic. So they're 21 and 51 last season. Their defense is great, but they're too anemic offensively. Two offensive players to watch this year. Jalen Suggs, the guard from Gonzaga. A great shooter, never leaving wide open for the game winner. Has size at 6'4", and yes, he's a great defender. And yes, he's a great passer for a point guard. Who can take the pressure off Jalen Suggs? Because he can't do it all by himself. His name is Franz Wagner, the Michigan Wolverine product. Because he's a good to great scorer, he cannot leave wide open. However, I'm not so with his defense. He has questions there. The Magic right now, they're just rebuilding for the future. For your division winner, as I predict in my view, I'm going to go with the Miami Heat because they're outstanding with their high pressure defense. They're going to create a lot of turnovers. And yes, they switch a lot. Imagine Kyle Lowry and Victor Oladipo coming back healthy. Their offense will improve a whole lot. But there's a weakness to the Heat. They're undersized. You have to go big with your lineup and box out. Really crash the boards. The bad thing about being undersized is size. Just box out. That's all you need to do. Thanks for tuning in, basketball fans. I'm Steve from Grind Never Stops. Signing out. Sign off, everybody.